Hi everybody, Keren here from tuppencecolored.co.uk. Thank you very much for joining me today. It's an inspiring blog hop challenge day today. That's easy for you to say. If you don't know what that is, then if you hop on over to my blog, and there is a link in the description box below this video, it tells you all about it, and you can find a link that will take you to the next blog in the hop, and you can work your way around there and you can see all of the projects that the hoppers have put together for you. My contribution today, 3, 2, 1, and I should have told you what the theme was. Hi everybody, it's Keren here from tuppencecolored.co.uk. Thank you very much for joining me today. It's a blog hop challenge day today. The inspiring blog hop challenge will be taking place. And now, if you don't know what that is and you want to find out, there is a link in the description box below this video. It takes you to my blog, and from there you will find a link that will take you to the next blog in the hop, and you can work your way around all of the different projects that the rest of the hoppers and I have been putting together. And our theme this time is winter thank you. So not just thank you, not just winter thank you. So I've been giving it some thought, and this is what I have come up with. I've decided that I want to make a full front for a card. So this is going to be my card front. It's a piece of not very vanilla, it's crumb cake, and I've cut it to 4 inches by 5 3/4. This is very vanilla, it's heavy duty, the thick very vanilla, and I've cut my card to 4 inches by 11.5 and scored and folded it at 5 3/4. So that is going to fit right on top of that. It's going to cover it completely. I have some cherry cobbler, and this is 3 3/4 by 5.5. That's going to be the mat on the front of my card. I've got some other bits of cherry cobbler for stamping on and die cutting. Stamps, I'm going to use this set. It's called Thankful Thoughts, and I think I'm going to use that great big thank you so much stamp. I have Versamark ink, and somewhere over here, I forgot to get it, I have white embossing powder. I'm going to be using this embossing folder. It's called Cable Knit, and it is a dynamic embossing folder, so it's one of the very thick ones. So when I put this through my Big Shot, I'm only going to be using 1 cutting plate, not 2 for that one, because if I put 2 it won't go through the Big Shot, and if I try to force it, it will break it, and I don't want that to happen. My trusty layering ovals, framelets, and this is new, and as you can see I haven't even taken the wrapper off it yet. This is called Flax Ribbon, and it's 5/8 of an inch, and it's going to be in the new Spring Summer catalogue, which comes into play, I think it's on the 3rd of January, so not long to wait for that one, so look out for that one. So those are my supplies, so now I just need to get going and making the card. I'm going to stamp onto my piece of crumb cake, and I'm going to begin by giving it a little bit of a dusting with my embossing buddy, which really does help to stop stray bits of embossing powder sticking where you don't want them to. I have my much loved Versamark ink pad. Now it looks fairly dreadful, but it still works fine. Alright, so if yours is getting to look a bit well loved, just don't panic, just carry on using it. I'm inking up my stamp with lots of light tapping, and I took the pad to the stamp, not the other way around. And I'm just going to line that up, and yeah, I'm sorry about the plaster on my little finger, in case you're wondering what I did. I ripped the edge of my nail, and it went right down into the quick, and it's pretty sore. And it's also not very nice looking, so you don't have to look at that, so I've covered it with a plaster. Okay, so while I was talking, I was pressing down onto my stamp and giving the ink time to transfer, and I'm just going to have a look at that, and I think that's transferred quite well. So now I have my embossing powder. And I'm just going to cover that all over with a good generous coat of embossing powder. The image only retains what it needs, so I can be as generous with it as I like, because most of it goes back into the pot. And a small pot of embossing powder, well, you will be surprised at how long it will last you. Right, so now I have my heat gun. I'm going to turn it on to the high speed because I'm embossing, and I'm going to let it warm up, and then I'm going to heat emboss my stamped image, and I'm going to turn the sound down because it's pretty loud. I have the largest of the layering ovals, and I'm going to arrange that kind of like that on my stamped image. I'm going to leave a little bit of space at the bottom because I think I'm going to do something. I'm going to do something in that space. So I'm going to take that over to the big shot. I'm going to cut that out in just a moment. But while I'm over at the big shot, I'm going to take my embossing folder, my cable knit, and I'm going to take my piece of cherry cobbler, and I'm going to line that up into the folder to try and get it as even as I possibly can. And what I'm going to do, I think I'm going to have a little bit of this sort of pattern on either side so that I've got 4 whole cables down the front. So I'm going to go away and do that, and I will be right back with you. I am back, and there is my die cut crumb cake and my embossed cherry cobbler. I just want to say one more thing, one more time, just to be sure about the sandwich that you use for this kind of embossing folder, because all you need is your Sizzix base, not your magnetic platform, just your ordinary platform. If you've got the kind with tabs, you want all the tabs open so that you're just working on the standard platform. Your embossing folder with your card in it, and 1 cutting plate on top. All right, that is your platform. You don't need any other shims or anything like that. That is all you need, because if you try to force it through when it's too thick, you may hurt your Sizzix. All right, and then you would be really upset. I'm going to put a fake knot onto this piece of card, so I'm going to start by punching 2 holes just kind of below my word much, and I'm going to put one underneath the C, and I'm going to put another one alongside it just underneath the U, where the U and the M kind of join, so that's kind of even. And I'm going to take a length of my linen ribbon, just cut a piece off. That's much more than I think I'm going to need, and I'm going to start by threading the ribbon through that hole in front, and then I'm going to bring this end through the hole there. Right, so now that it looks like that, then I'm going to take this end back through that hole on the right hand side, and then I'm going to bring it back out on this end, and I'm just going to arrange that so that it's pretty. And then I'm going to cut away the bit that I don't want, and I've got a fake knot at the front of the card. I have another length of the linen ribbon, which is long enough to go around the front of my card and to wrap over around the back, and I'm just kind of trying to decide where I want it to sit, because I want that to sit on top of it, to look like it's actually part of that, like I've kind of knotted a scarf, a woolly scarf around my card, and I think that's about right. So I'm going to stick it down with a little bit of tape, and since we've just had Christmas, my husband has got hold of all of the sticky tape to wrap Christmas presents with, and I can't find any of it, so I don't know exactly what he's done with it. I do know he used up most of a reel of tape wrapping my Christmas present. I had great difficulty getting into it. Alright, so that is kind of the way I want it. So yeah, reasonably happy with that. And the next thing I want are some dimensionals, which are over here in my tool case. Alright, so now I'm going to add some of the... I'm going to use my tweezers now, since I got them out. Might as well. Not sure if you can hear, but next door's dog is having a jolly good woof around the place. It's fairly quiet at the moment, you know. As I'm filming this, it's the day after Boxing Day, which, if you don't live in the UK, Boxing Day is the day after Christmas, the 26th of December. And it's public holiday here, but it's also a day when the shops start their sales, so it can get a bit frantic. It's kind of like Black Friday elsewhere in the world. Yeah, I've got a few days off my day job, so I'm spending my time crafting and making videos. So starting to get ready to make projects from the new catalogue. Let's give that a little bit of a twist. This thread is really quite forgiving. Oh, I like that. That's almost like angel's wings, isn't it? That's quite pretty. Okay, so all I want to do now is to put this onto the front of my card mat. If the glue wants to play. Well, one of those days today. You see, I haven't done much crafting over Christmas and everything's kind of dried up, so I think that's got it. There we go. It's reluctant, but it's working its way through. Yes, you know, you have some time off over Christmas and all your glue dries up. But I had a lovely Christmas, so I'm not going to complain. I'll put that on one side just for a moment. And let's bring in my card front, or what is going to be my card front. And I'm going to line this up so that I've got a reasonably even border, but slightly more crumb cake showing at the bottom than at the top. There we go, quite pleased with that. Here's my card base. And I hope that you can see that, because I'm covering the whole of the card. I want to make sure that it's lined up at the bottom. So the way that I do that is I put them both flat on the table, and then that will line up perfectly. And that's it. That's my completed card. And that is it. That is my winter thank you card. And I do thank you for staying with me throughout this tutorial. I hope that you've enjoyed it, and if so, I'd really love it if you would click that thumbs up button below, because it really does help me. And if you want to go and see what the rest of the blog hoppers have been up to, and don't forget, if you go on over to my blog, it's in the information box below. You can link from there and you can work your way right the way around the hop, and you can see what everybody else has been up to, because I know that they're going to have lots and lots of crafty inspiration for you. But that is it for now. Once again, thank you very, very much for joining me, and I'd love it if you came back and saw me again sometime soon. But for now, bye bye.